being here.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Now, Jesse, I happen to know that you got to experience a lot of your growing up during the 90s, which was a super fun decade to experience Christmas, wasn't it?
Heck yeah.
Are there any things about the 90s that you remember especially for Christmas?
I'm the talk boy. I just remember there was a talk boy one year, and the next year there was a talk girl, and I had both, and I loved them.
I'm actually unfamiliar with the Talk Boy and the Talk Girl. When I find out what they are, I'll put links in the show notes below for anyone else who's interested in finding out about those. I came a little bit before you. My most of my growing up was in the 70s and 80s, and I was, I think, sort of phasing out in my late teens during the 90s. So we're going to see what you know about this particular decade. Let me explain the game before we get started. As always, we go in 4 rounds with 5 questions each. All of the questions follow a similar format or theme for each round. A correct answer is worth 1 point. No points are taken off for incorrect answers. And as always, if I feel like giving you partial credit or even bonus points, I can do that as my discretion. Are you ready for round one?
Let's do it.
All right. The first round I am calling May May and May La. Do you know what those refer to, Jesse?
I don't.
Well, according to the tag that comes on these, those are two things required by a Furby. Furbies, of course, were some of the most popular toys during the 1990s. Let's see how you do answering 5 multiple choice questions about the Furby. Question number 1.
Oh
The
my.
Furby wasn't the first smash hit for its inventor David Hampton. He's also the creator of what sensation from the 80s? Was it A, the video game Q*bert, B, the pogo ball, or C, parachute pants?
Let's go with Cubert.
Correct. He actually was the inventor of Q*bert. 1 point for you on the board, off to a great start. Question number 2. Due to its popularity, Furby scored some endorsement deals. For example, its image was emblazoned on what? Was it A, a limited edition plate from the Franklin Mint? B, Nike's Revolution line of sneakers for kids? Or C, packages of Nutter Butter cookies?
Uh, Sneakers?
That would have been awesome, actually, but it was packages of Nutter Butter cookies. And in addition to that, it was Oreos and other things besides. He was on a lot of food for whatever reason. All right, question number 3. Furby was the subject of at least one rumor, including which of these? Was it A, that their image was based on a demon from Japanese folklore? B, that male Furbies had manes and female Furbies had tails? Or C, that their internal electronics emitted harmful radiation?
Harmful radiation.
You know, maybe someone did say that around sooner or later, but no. It's actually Furbies. Some Furbies had manes and some had tails, and there was a rumor that that distinction was because some were male and some were female. Its creator denied that. That was just part of how they were made to make them different. Okay, last question for. Oh no, I'm sorry. 2 more questions for this round. The name Furby was chosen by its creator. Why? Was it A, when his mother saw it, he said it looks like one of those furry bumblebees? Was it B, he referred to it as a fur ball and it just morphed from there? Or C, it was a last minute change from the original name of the Kirby, which had already been trademarked by someone else?
Furry bumblebee.
That would have been great. And I'll have you know a little bit of personal information about me. My nickname growing up was Bumblebee, B for Brian. Maybe that's where that was inspired from. But no, it was actually that he just referred to it as a fur ball and then decided to call it a Furby. Last question for this round. Despite its popularity, the Furby had what dubious distinction? Was it A, it was actually banned by government agencies in 1999 over fears that they could record classified conversations? Was it B, that it was once common among traffickers to smuggle drugs hidden inside Furbies? Or C, was it that several cable news pundits claimed that Furby was created to promote a liberal agenda?
A, the government.
Exactly right. It was actually banned from government agencies because people thought it could record conversations. Well, that was a really good round. At the end of round one, 2 out of 5, you're on the board and looking good. But before we go on to round two, why don't we get a chance to know Jesse a little better? Because I recently discovered, Jesse, that you and your family have this really interesting and awesome sounding tradition called the Ghost of Christmas Present, and I would love to hear more about that.
Yeah, so that's a game that we play whenever we're all together at Christmas. My mom lives on a street that has a lot of foot traffic, and her living room's actually on the second floor of the house. So we can look out the window when everyone's walking by, and we'll sing out Christmas carols at the passersby and then duck down real low. So they'll be looking around, like, wondering where the carols are coming from. So it's like a ghost, and then we laugh and watch when people are trying to figure out where we are and they never can.
Well, now, I'd imagine some of this foot traffic are people in the neighborhood. Has anyone figured it out by now?
My best friend happened to walk by because she goes to church up the street and she called me out. She was like, Jesse, I know that's you, and ran into that. But other than her, no one quite figured it out.
Well, it sounds cool. I might try that in my own neighborhood, but we don't get a lot of foot traffic where I live. But someday soon. Okay, let's move on to round two. Now, the 90s gave us a lot of Christmas movies, maybe more than their fair share of other decades. We had The Santa Claus, Home Alone, Jingle All the Way, and a lot of others besides. So this round is based on that. I'm calling it Home Alone, Jingle All the Way, or both. In each question, I'm going to give you a statement. The statement could be true of either Home Alone or Jingle All the Way, or it could be true of both movies. All you have to do is tell me which. Ready to go?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Question number one. In Roger Ebert's review for this movie, it read in part, I liked a lot about the movie, which was genial and had a lot of energy, but I was sort of depressed by its relentlessly materialistic view of Christmas and by the choice to go with action and violence over dialogue and plot.
Jingle All the Way.
That was Jingle All the Way. And just for context, everyone, Jingle All the Way was the absolutely terrible movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger has to get a toy for Christmas for his kid. It's sort of based on the Tickle Me Elmo craze. Okay. Question number two. This movie had a sequel.
Home Alone, yeah.
Home Alone did have a sequel, but it wasn't the only one. Believe it or not, Jingle All the Way did have a sequel. And I'll give you a bonus point. Apparently you didn't know it did have a sequel, but let's just try for a bonus point. Who was the star of the Jingle All the Way sequel?
Uh, was it Sinbad?
No, it was an equally terrible comedian, Larry the Cable Guy. So the
Uh,
Larry the Cable Guy, the movie came out in I think 2014, direct to video, came and went. No one ever heard of it, but yep, there was a sequel to Jingle All the Way. Okay.
that's a shame.
Question number three. This movie included a small role for Martin Mull.
I don't know who that is. Let's say Home Alone.
It was actually Jingle All the Way. If you saw the movie, there was a radio DJ, and that DJ was played by Martin Mull. Okay.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Question number four. This movie turned into a novel that was published by Scholastic Books.
Home Alone.
That was definitely Home Alone. You sound like you know that for a fact. Did you have the book?
I didn't have the book, but how could you make a book out of Jingle All the Way? It was terrible.
This movie earned one of its actors a Blockbuster Entertainment Award for Best Actor in a Family Film.
Home Alone?
Believe it or not, it was Jingle All the Way. And that was awarded to Sinbad.
What?
So apparently, Blockbuster Entertainment Awards are a thing. I didn't know that till I started researching this game, but they are a thing, and one was awarded to Sinbad for Jingle All the Way. Okay.
Interesting.
At the end of round two, you got two more in that round, so we're up to a total of 4 points. Looking good, and many more opportunities to put more points on the board. But before we do that, let's get a chance to know Jesse a little bit better because you are a world traveler. And presumably that means you got to experience Christmas in other parts of the world. So is there one that really stuck out for you?
Well, Christmas in Australia was obviously very different because it's summer over there. So everyone's out having barbecues, going to the beach, and wearing shorts and tank tops, which was very different for me. And then I've also done Christmas in Scotland as well, and that's more traditional. They have Christmas markets and everything, and it's really good. So two very different Christmases than what we have here in the US.
And I actually recently did an episode for the podcast about Christmas in July. And a lot of people assume that in Australia, they celebrate Christmas in July because that's when winter is. Now, is that true or not?
No, there was no real Christmas in July when we were there for 2 years.
Now, there are small celebrations, and just like there are here, and I think they're growing a little bit more in America. There are these little small Christmas in July celebrations in Australia, but Christmas is celebrated on Christmas because that's when Christmas is. All right, let's move on to our next round. This one appears in all of the games. Am I jingling your bell? In other words, am I pulling your leg? I'm going to read you 5 statements about Christmas in the 90s. The only catch is some of them are true and some of them are just things that I made up. Your job, tell me which is which. Let's go to question 1. In 1992, the sitcom Family Matters aired a Christmas-themed episode titled It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Urkel.
True.
That is true. Did you see that episode?
I'm sure I did.
I'm
I
sure.
loved Family Matters.
Yeah, me too. I watched that for a lot of years and I don't really remember much about it except for Urkel. Question number 2.
And Stefan. Yeah.
What's that?
It's just that and Stefan or Kel in the later years
Oh,
when
yeah,
he had
yeah,
the
yeah.
twin.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Stefan was like the cool Urkel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Question number 2. A 1990 made-for-TV Christmas movie called Christmas at the Beach featured a crossover between the casts of Saved by the Bell and Beverly Hills 90210.
False. You're jingling my bell.
I'm jingling your bell, and thank you for saying that. It makes it a lot more fun. Totally made up. I just totally made that up. Although there were Christmas episodes of 90210 and Saved by the Bell, respectively, they just never melded together. Question
I
number
love that Saved by the Bell one every year.
Yeah. Question number 3. In 1997, a disgruntled worker at the factory where the Tickle Me Elmo doll was made got his revenge by placing G.I. Joe voice boxes in the dolls.
True?
No, that's actually false. I think there may have been stories of someone doing that at one point. Maybe it was with G.I. Joes and Barbies, mixing them up, but I just made that up for Tickle Me Elmo.
That would have been
Question
fun.
number 4. In the early 1990s, the food brand Ralston introduced a variation of its Cookie Crisp cereal called Christmas Cookie Crisp. It was red and green cookie cereal with candy sprinkles.
True.
That's 100% true. There were a lot of cool Christmas cereals way back in the day, Christmas Crunch and a lot of Lucky Charms and things like that. But the Christmas Cookie Crisp is just it barely qualifies as food. It's just cookies, red and green cookies with sprinkles that you put in milk. Okay. Question number 5. Mariah Carey's song All I Want for Christmas with You was actually banned from Minnesota's Mall of America because of its, quote, anti-commerce message.
You're jingling my bell.
I am 100% jingling your bell. Although you have to think she doesn't want a lot for Christmas, she just wants you. You would think that some retailers would say, hey, flag on the play, that doesn't quite mesh with what we're trying to do here. But no, in this case, I was just making that up. Okay, so I understand that you are a big animal lover and you have a 3-legged cat. Can you tell me about that guy?
Yeah, so we adopted him after he had actually been hit by a car, which is sad, but he's doing great now. He did have to have his back leg amputated.
Mhm.
He had a kidney removed, and he only has about half of an ear, so he's a partial cat, but he's so happy and healthy now, and he can run and jump and everything, and he's so cute. So his name is Scar, fittingly.
Scar. Well, I can relate to that, and I'll share a little more personal information with you. I have a 13-year-old Labrador Retriever named Chloe who recently had to have one of her front toes amputated. So she's recovering from that as we speak. She has a cone on her head, and I am delighted that we're not hearing that off in the distance because she's walking around with the cone bumping into absolutely everything. And I was concerned as we were recording this message that I was going to hear a bunch of that, but we're not. So Merry Christmas to Scar and Chloe. They'll be fully recovered by then. Okay, let's move into our final round. It's fill in the blank, and I am calling this round Boyland, Boyland, because all of the questions have to do with either boy bands or teen heartthrobs from the 1990s.
Ooh,
Fill in the
I
blank
like this.
starting now. Question number one. This co-star of Home Improvement starred in the 1998 movie I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Yes, it was Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Question number two. This sibling boy band released their album Snowed In 1997.
Hanson?
It was Hanson. Good job. Question number three. For their 1998 single Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, this quintet released a music video featuring an appearance by Gary Coleman.
NSYNC.
All right. We've definitely found the category for you in this round. Way to end strong. Question number four. This quartet released the 1999 album This Christmas, which included the single This Gift.
98 Degrees.
All right. Can we make it a clean sweep? He's the voice of Sid in Toy Story and also the star of this 1996 made-for-TV movie called Christmas Every Day, in which he must relive the same Christmas over and over.
I know this is not, it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember.
All right, let's see if I can give you a hint. His first name begins with the letter E.
Elijah Wood.
Oh, that would have been. Was he in a Christmas movie? That would have been cool. No, this I'm looking for Eric Von Detten.
Ah, is there.
All right. So let's tally up the points here. We have 4, 7, 9, 11 points for your final score. That is a really strong showing and one of the higher scores we've gotten in this game so far. Before I let you go, I'd love to know how you're spending Christmas this year now that you're back in the US.
My sister just had a baby. It's my very first niece, and so I will get to meet her this year at Christmas, which I'm very excited about. So just spending it with family and meeting my new niece.
Well, that sounds lovely. Now listen, everybody. I'd like to thank you for watching the game. I hope you had fun watching, but I'll bet you'd have even more fun if you played along yourself. So all you have to do is leave a comment below or write me a christmaspastpodcast@gmail.com, and someday soon maybe I can put your Christmas spirit to the test. Thanks again to Jesse for being a great player. I hope you had fun playing, and I hope that you have a very Merry Christmas this year. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye. Well, hello and welcome. This is Brian Earl coming to you from Christmas Past headquarters here in sunny San Mateo, California. I hope wherever you are in the world, you're having a great day, you're happy and healthy, and that you've got the Christmas spirit just like I do and my 4 friends here do as well. We're here to celebrate Christmas in July with a special game of Christmas trivia. I'm joined by 4 superbly qualified trivia meisters. Let's move one at a time. So first up, we have 1/3 of the podcast, Tis the Podcast, which reviews TV and movies all year round. It's Tom Crow. And next up, we have the blogger and 4-time author, most recently of the Triple Dog Dare. You may have also seen her on the History Channel. It is Joanna Wilson. Next up, we have a comedian and the host of the Can't Wait for Christmas podcast. It's Tim Babb.
It's an honor just to be nominated.
And finally, the OG podcaster of Christmas. It is the radio personality and the host of the Christmas Stocking podcast, now with 138 episodes and many more to come, we hope. It's Lee Cameron.
Hey, it's the old guy.
All right, players, this game goes in 3 rounds. I'm going to ask each of the players a question in turn. There are multiple choice questions for round 1, all having to do with TV and movies. These are the shows and movies we grew up with, but how keen an eye for the finer details do our players have? Let's put their Christmas spirit to the test, starting now. First question goes to you, Tim. Tim, in A Christmas Story, when Ralphie's dad curses at the furnace, we, the audience, hear sanitized, nonsensical versions of his expletives, including which of these? He actually called the furnace one of these. Was it A, sassy molassie, B, a Monday noodle, or C, a forfin snorfer?
I'm gonna go with C.
Forfin snorfer, I'm sorry, that is incorrect. The correct answer, Joanna, you can't steal a point for knowing this, but let's see if our resident expert on A Christmas Story knows. The correct answer was B, a Monday noodle.
Oh,
Well, of course it was.
That was my third choice.
It was almost bound to be Monday noodle.
I so didn't know that.
Now, I should say that no points are taken off for giving an incorrect answer. You can only ever gain points. The next question goes to Joanna. In Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Clarice sings Rudolph a song after he is kicked out of the reindeer games. What is the title of that song? Is it A, There's Always Tomorrow, B, It's Always Darkest Before the Dawn, or C, Look on the Bright Side?
no, A, there's always tomorrow.
There's Always Tomorrow is correct. The next question goes to Tom. Tom, in a Charlie Brown Christmas, after Charlie notices that his mailbox is empty, he sarcastically thanks which of his friends for sending him a Christmas card? Is it A, Lucy, B, Violet, or C, Peppermint Patty?
B, Violet.
That is correct. It was Violet. Lee, what is the name of the Grinch's dog? Is it A, Rex, B, Tux, or C, Max?
C, Max.
It is C, Max.
Good.
That's right.
Question number 5 goes back to Tim. Tim, in Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, what is the name of Emmett Otter's jug band? Is it A, the River Bottom Bullfrogs, B, Emmett and the Critters, or C, the Frogtown Hollow Jubilee Jug Band?
C.
Actually, that is correct. It was
He's
Frogtown
sorry,
How's that
that's
taste?
correct.
Jubilee Jug Band. Next question is for Joanna. In Frosty the Snowman, what is the name of the magician? Is it A, Professor Hinkle, B, Presto Prestini, or C, Mr. Mysterio?
A, Professor Hinkle.
It is A, Professor Hinkle. Correct. Next question goes to Tom. Tom, in Santa Claus is Coming to Town, the Burgermeister Meisterburger presides over a city with what depressing name? Is it A, Gloomyville, B, Sombertown, or C, Frownburg?
B, Sombertown.
It is Sombertown. Correct. Next question goes to Lee. Lee, in A Year Without Santa Claus, who are the elves Mrs. Claus tasks with finding proof that people still believe in Santa? Is it A, Jingle and Jangle, B, Twinkle and Tinsel, or C, Holly and Jolly?
A, Jingle and Jangle.
It is A, Jingle and Jangle. Correct. Good job. Back to Tim. Tim, in Mickey's Christmas Carol,
Yes.
his character plays the role of Jacob Marley. Is it A, Donald Duck, B, Jiminy Cricket, or C, Goofy?
C.
Goofy is correct. Next question is for Joanna. In the 1974 cartoon feature, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, one of the catchy songs reminds us that even a miracle, what? Is it A, needs a hand, B, goes awry, or C, takes some time?
Say B, it's fun.
A.
Correct. Even a miracle needs a hand. Next question is for Tom. In A Miracle on 34th Street, what government agency declares that the man calling himself Kris Kringle is in fact the real Santa Claus? Is it A, the Customs Office, B, the Post Office, or C, the New York State Senate?
C, the New York State Senate.
That is correct. Okay, we're going to do a quick check on the scores. That is, we've asked 12 questions so far, so each one of you has gotten 3. We're now at the end of round 1. Let's take a look at the scores. Tim, Lee, did I ask you 3 questions?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Did he?
here's one for Lee.
I'm
Lee,
okay with Lee
in
only
The
having
Little
2
Drummer
points.
Boy, the
Just give me
title
one.
character is accompanied by a donkey named Samson, a camel named Joshua, and a lamb named what? Is it A, Boom Boom, B, Baba, or C, Woolrich?
I don't remember this one because it just didn't speak to me. But I'm going to guess B, Baba.
And you guessed correctly. It is B, Baba. And that concludes round one. Taking a look at the scores, Tim has 2 points, and the rest of our players each has 3.
Yes, Tim's the only one that missed one. Yes.
Moving on now.
It was a hard one, though. It really
It
was,
was a hard one.
I wouldn't have gotten it.
Moving on now to round 2. This is the hits by the decade. So these are the songs we all listen to every year, but do you know what decade the song was released? Now, for every popular Christmas song, I should say there are, of course, many versions, like Madonna covering Eartha Kitt's Santa Baby. In each instance, I am talking about the one that we're most familiar with. So I'm going to give you the name of the performer associated with the song, as well as the song title. All you have to do is tell me which decade it came out in. First question, let's go in reverse order this time. We'll start with Lee. Bing Crosby's White Christmas.
The 40s.
That is correct. It was 1942.
Mm-hmm.
Now we go to Tom. Elvis Presley's Blue Christmas.
The 50s.
Sorry, it was 1964. So that was a 60s song.
Ah,
Joanna. Paul McCartney's Wonderful Christmas Time.
Oh, uh-oh. 70s?
Correct, just barely. 1979.
Oh, good.
Tim. Andy Williams's It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year.
Oh! 60s.
Correct. It was
Yeah!
1963. Okay, back to Lee. Eartha Kitt's Santa Baby.
50s?
That is correct. It was 1953. Tom. Bing Crosby's Silver Bells.
50s.
Correct. Just barely. It was 1950. All right. Joanna. Gene Autry's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
The 30s?
It was 1949.
Oh, man.
Tim.
Close.
Jose Feliciano's Feliz Navidad.
70s.
Correct. 1970 specifically.
C.
All right. Lee. Darlene Love's Christmas Baby Please Come Home.
60s.
Correct. 1963. Tom. Nat King Cole's The Christmas Song, also known as Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire.
50s.
The Christmas Song actually was from 1946. Joanna. Bobby Helms's Jingle Bell Rock.
Oh, boy. 60s?
Sorry, that was 1957. And finally, Tim. Perry Como's No Place Like Home for the Holidays.
Ooh.
Wow, that's a tough
Tim's getting the hard ones.
I want to say 60s, but I think it's 50s.
And it's the last answer that counts, and that is correct. 1954 to be exact. All right, everyone, that concludes round 2. So let's take a look at the scores. Tim has 5 points. Joanna has 4. Tom also has 4, and Lee is in the lead with 6 points.
Whew.
All right. This is sort of the lightning round. It's all general knowledge, and they are all fill in the blank questions.
Uh-oh.
We'll start at the reverse end again. So this, Tim, is your question.
Let's do this.
Joyeux Noel is Merry Christmas in what language?
French.
That is correct. Joanna, according to the song, on the 7th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me this.
7 swans swimming?
Correct. Tom, this Christmas confection was originally solid white when it was invented in 17th century Germany before receiving its familiar stripes.
Familiar stripes.
I can no longer hear anybody for some reason.
I went quiet there.
Oh, I see.
Phew, I thought he was asking me and I just didn't notice.
I don't know.
The answer is the candy cane.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's embarrassing.
Lee, a cake made to resemble a traditional Yule log is known by this French name.
I don't know.
It is the bûche de Noël.
I'm glad I didn't try. I wouldn't have gotten that.
Tim, this traditional Christmas drink is made from milk, cream, sugar, and eggs.
I'm going to go with eggnog.
Correct. Joanna, what is the name of the little girl in the Nutcracker?
Clara.
That is correct.
Nice.
Okay, let's see. Tom, in the TV special Santa Claus is Coming to Town, the mailman narrator character is voiced by what famous showbiz personality?
Fred Astaire?
That is correct.
Good.
Lee, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas was first heard in the 1944 movie Meet Me in St. Louis and sung by whom?
That would be Judy Garland.
That would be Judy Garland. Back to you, Tim. Who is the author of the classic Christmas tale, The Little Match Girl?
Someone who's never been in my kitchen.
That's true. He's right
That is
about
correct.
That is correct.
Correct.
It is also correct that his name is Hans Christian Andersen.
Oh, I've heard of him, yeah.
Joanna, your question. In Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the television special, at the reindeer games, Rudolph befriends but is soon rejected by a buck named what?
Oh, I don't remember. I don't know.
Anybody? Was Fireball.
Fireball.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so Tom, next question is yours. This brightly colored Christmas plant is also the highest selling potted plant in America.
Poinsettia?
That is correct. Okay, let's see. This one is for Lee. The author of In Cold Blood, he also wrote the short story A Christmas Memory in 1956.
I don't know.
Anybody?
Truman Capote.
Truman Capote.
Yeah.
All right, back up to Tim. This 1940 Disney film uses portions of Tchaikovsky's The Nutcracker Suite.
Fantasia.
Fantasia is correct. Joanna, what is the name of the town where It's a Wonderful Life takes place?
Bedford Falls.
Bedford Falls is correct. Okay, let's see. This one goes to Tom. Tom, Christmas seals are sponsored by this nonprofit organization.
I know this. Drawing a blank.
It is the Lung Association. Lee, it's the Christmas song that begins with the line, "Come They Told Me."
I can't remember. That's ridiculous.
The correct answer was The Little Drummer Boy.
That's right.
Tim, your question. Let's see. This traditional Christmas beverage of hot mulled cider is named from an Old English word meaning good health.
I thought it was just called mulled cider. Le mulled cider?
The correct answer is wassail.
Oh, right.
Joanna, this singer-songwriter released the album Rocky Mountain Christmas in 1975.
John Denver.
John Denver is correct. Tom, in the Muppet Christmas Carol, this actor plays the part of Scrooge.
Michael Caine.
Correct. It is Michael Caine. Lee, last question goes to you. This Italian sweetbread most commonly contains raisins and candied citrus peel.
Are we talking fruitcake? No. Oh, panettone is what you were.
Panettone is correct.
You
Okay,
gotta
you
give that
guys.
to me. I was wrong.
And then you were
But
right.
thank you.
It's all about giving at Christmas. Give him the answer.
Okay, that concludes round 3. So let's take a look at the scores. Tim has 8 points.
Nice.
Joanna also has 8 points.
Mm.
Tom has 7 points.
Oh,
And Lee also has 8 points.
Oh.
This means that we have a 3-way tie. So that means we're going into a sudden death elimination round.
I didn't see that coming.
Tom, you'll have to sit this one out, but you'll be with us in spirit. Here's how it works. In the same way that we're gonna go from one player to another, each of you is going to give me an answer. If you give a wrong answer or can't come up with an answer within 5 seconds, you're eliminated. The last player left standing is the winner. Here's the category. In 1984, the supergroup Band Aid recorded Do They Know It's Christmas? Name any of the bands that were represented in Band Aid. Joanna, we'll start with you.
Wham.
Wham is correct. Tim.
Bananarama.
Bananarama is also one. Lee.
The Cure.
The Cure was not. I'm sorry. It is now down to Joanna and Tim. Joanna?
Boomtown Rats.
Boomtown Rats is correct. Tim?
Of course.
Culture Club.
Culture Club is correct. Joanna?
Tina Turner, was she there?
Tina Turner was
That was
not
We Are
there.
the World.
I'm sorry. That means that Tim is our big winner. Now, for the record,
Duran
the bands
Duran.
Duran Duran, Culture Club, Genesis, Heaven 17, Kool and the Gang, The Police, Spandau Ballet, Status Quo, The Style Council, U2, and Ultravox.
Cool in the Gang. Are they
Kool and the
British?
Gang.
No,
Just
they just
super.
happened to be there when they
They
were
just-
setting it up.
They were just there. Exactly. They happened to be in town.
Well, thank you to all of our players for playing, and a big congratulations to Tim, who wins our prize. He gets to choose any of the non-winning players, including yours truly, to do some kind of promotion for Can't Wait for Christmas. Congratulations, Tim. And from all of us here to all of you, happy Christmas in July. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope to do it again soon. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
To all, a good night.
Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad.
Fireball.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us. I hope you had fun watching that, but I'll bet you'd have even more fun if you played along yourself. So how about it? Would you like to join me for a game of Christmas trivia right here on the channel? All you have to do is visit the contact page at christmaspast.media to find all the different ways you can get in touch with me and let me know you're interested. And who knows, maybe sometime soon I can put your Christmas spirit to the test.